again, every day. Okay. What I see with too many small to medium-sized businesses is they go out, they get some business, they're doing really well, and then they focus just on the business. They forget to go out and sell. And when the contracts die up, suddenly they have no business anymore. Just how many of you could type, I understand, or I can connect with that in the chat box? How many of you know what I'm talking about when we're talking about going out? Yeah, thank you, Harry. So, okay, so you've got to be persistent. This game of business takes guts. This game of business takes getting up and keep going. And sadly, too many people these days just don't have the guts, just are not persistent enough to keep going. You know, I'm reading a book at the moment called Mindset, and well, more studying it than reading it. And what you see by most, you know, Carol Dweck, the author, talks about, you know, a lot of her analogies are around sports people. And as you know, as it turns out, sports people are persistent. Their work ethic is persistent. Very often, it's not the most talented, but the sports people with the persistent work ethic that they keep going. Those, you know, those are the sportsmen that become like the Michael Jordans, you know, of the world, that people just see and say, wow, that guy must have had to just have an inordinate amount of talent. Well, when you read some of their stories, you realize that at stages they were not that talented, but they were just prepared to be persistent. Sales is the same. Are you prepared to be persistent? Will you persist in the goals that you have? You know, some of you, if you've been in the Sales Explosion Room, or the Sales and Leadership Mastery program that I run, you might have heard me tell the story about when I first got into the safety industry in Zimbabwe. I ended up on a mine in Wangi called Wangi Colliery, big coal mine, and I'd never been there before. You know, anyway, long story short, I used to go there a week a month, and during that time, all I did was I went in and I worked with the mine to add value to them. In 7 months, I didn't sign one piece of business, but I flew up to Vic Falls. I had a car, stayed in a hotel for the week, invested money, a week a month for 7 months. In month 8, I signed a deal, and for the next 3.5 years, I provided pretty much 95% of all their personal protective equipment. And that was just from persistence, understanding that if I was persistent, the right things would happen. If I can just ask, some of you have got your mic off. If I can just ask if you can just mute, or you're unmuted. If you can just mute, thanks very much. So that trait is, you know, persistence. Great salespeople are persistent. Next one, great salespeople have a reason why they sell. You know, my question to you is, why do you want to sell? What are you selling out? Tomorrow, if you have to get up and go and sell, why? What is the reason? Is the reason big enough? Is that reason going to get you off your butt and get you out to go and do the things that are hard? Not the things that are easy, but the things that are hard. You know, so great salespeople have a reason why they sell. You know, why do you want to get out? Why do you want to make money? What's your mission? What's your purpose? You know, at some stages, it's about survival. Well, can you get up and push through and make the reason you want to survive, the reason why you're going to knock on doors, close deals, get in front of people? And as your business grows, that why becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Sometimes, for some of you, it might just be the money. I've just never been a person that's just driven by money. Do I want to make a lot of money? Have I made a lot of money over the years? Yes. Am I driven to make more money? Yes, but I'm driven to make more money because of what money will allow me to do. Money will allow me to be able to help. It'll allow me to be on purpose. So what is your why? You know, when I'm meeting people and I'm selling any of my programs, my why is very clear. I know that if you're in one of my programs, you will change your life. You will change your mindset. You will change your ability to earn your income. So my why is clear. My why is that I need to get you in my program so that I can help you change you in order to get the results you want, because that's the purpose of what I do, for example. So my question for you is, are you clear on your why? Do you have a clear reason why you get out and sell? So so just, in the chat box, how many of you are very clear? How many of you just type in yes if you are very clear on why you get out and sell, or type in no if you're not clear. And remember this, one of the keys to creating change in yourself is you have to be brutally honest. Very often people are not brutally honest. If you don't know the why, if you're sort of, not sure, then type in, yeah, good, well done. So make sure that why, the why for you to get off your butt and take action is very clear. So the next one, great salespeople practice the skills they need to perfect. They practice and they practice. Great entrepreneurs practice. Great sportsmen practice. Olympians practice. One of the most under-practiced environments in the world is the world of business, is the world of sales with sales reps. I don't know about you, but my business is my path to my Olympics. Creating a life for myself, for my family, creating wealth, helping other people create wealth. That's my Olympic Games. That's my journey to get an Olympic medal. And just ask yourself this, in the area of sales, in the area of business, if you practiced as much as you practice right now, would you even get on the bus to the trials? Or would you make it all the way to the Olympics because you're sure that what you're practicing is correct? So practice is key. Practice, practice, practice. When I go into the corporate world and I work with, on the odd occasion when I work with corporate sales teams, the one thing they hate is role play and practice. And it's crazy. But the difference between many employees, and if there's any of you that are employees on this call, the difference between many employees and business owners is I just know this. As a business owner, as an entrepreneur, nobody's going to pay my salary at the end of the month. My level of practice, my level of action and activity will determine what I pay myself. Sadly, many employees are going to get paid whether they practice or they don't practice, whether they close sales or they don't close sales until the time comes. So, it's not about a job. It's about if you understand why you do what you do, are you prepared to practice to get it done? How many of you think you are under-practiced? How many of you think you are way under-practiced? Why don't you just type it into the chat box, under-practiced or way under-practiced? Yeah. Practice. Practice handling objections. Practice pitching. Practice walking in the door. Practice how you greet people. Practice how you connect with people. So can you practice? Great salespeople practice. Great entrepreneurs practice. Great. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, under practice. So with that in mind, how many of you are realizing that getting on the bus to the trials might not even be a possibility, but getting on the bus to go to the Olympic Games to win a gold medal requires tons and tons and tons of practice. It always intrigued me when I watched a guy like Usain Bolt, and I would think, there's a guy who sets a goal really to run in a couple of events every 4 years to do the Olympic Games, and then his other event was the World Championships. So pretty much 5 events in 4 years. How many times did that guy practice? How many times did he run up and down? How many times did he get in those blocks and his coach would go, bang, do it again, bang, do it again, until he got it perfect. There's a guy called Kieran Perkins who was world, I think he was world swimming pool, and I think he was gold medalist at the Olympic Games for 1,500 meters. When he was interviewed, they asked him, why do you practice so much? Surely you're fit enough. He said, it's not about fitness. He says, it's about perfection. It's about perfecting it's about creating the best possible stroke that you can have. You see, under pressure, we default to our worst habit. And if our worst habit is not the absolute best we have, then we'll default to something under par. So when you're under pressure, when you're in the heat of battle, and that heat of battle is closing a deal, thinking of your feet, doing those type of things, are you practiced enough that you'll default to the things that will give you the absolute best opportunity of success? So any questions or comments so far? If you do, just type them in and we'll have a look at them. So next one. Great salespeople are prepared to do whatever it takes to win. Are you prepared to do whatever it takes to win? You see, there's a key difference between doing your best and doing whatever it takes to win. Doing your best is based on what you think you know right now. Doing whatever it takes to win is based on what you have no idea you don't know. And the more you push through, and the more you practice, and the more you grow, and the bigger you become, and the more you develop yourself personally, the more you realize that what you used to be able to do is way too small. So how many of you realize that as you've grown over a period of time, what you look back, your capacity that you have now compared to what your capacity was 2, 3, 5, 10 years ago are worlds and worlds and worlds apart. But 5 years ago, you would have said, man, I'm doing my best. I'm working as hard as I can. The question is, are you prepared to do your best, or are you prepared to do whatever it takes? Great salespeople, great people that generate income, great entrepreneurs do whatever it takes. Okay, now in my world, legally, ethically, and morally, it's up to you. You make up your own rules. Now, in my rules, I will do whatever it takes to win, whatever it takes to be successful, legally, ethically, and morally. So are you prepared to do whatever it takes, or are you stuck in doing your best? And are you justifying that that's your best? For me, that is the beauty of learning. That is the beauty of growth. That's the beauty of personal development. That when you grow this thing, not when you put more and more information in it, when you grow this, when your mind gets bigger, when your capacity gets bigger, when your being gets bigger, when your spirit gets bigger, man, your capacity grows. And when your capacity grows, you have the ability to take on and do way more than you used to before. You know, when I look at my capacity now, in terms of being able to teach, train, the amount of events I run, the traveling that I do, you know, just a couple of weeks ago, I traveled 14 days. I traveled 65 hours of traveling. I was in 5 different countries, and I did. Hey, Jane, please can you mute? Yeah, thank you. You know, did over 65 hours of flying, was in 5 different countries, and did 14, in 9 days of training. So, you know, I could never have done that 10 years ago, let alone 5 years ago. But I've spent a lot of time working on me, working on my capacity, and being prepared to do whatever it takes. So are you prepared to do whatever it takes? So that's the next thing. Great salespeople, great entrepreneurs, highly successful people, great sportsmen. Doesn't matter where you put them. You know, remember this, sales is not only about business. Sales is a life skill. Okay, you know, great people that sell themselves on why they need to do what they need to do are prepared to do whatever it takes. So, question from Nawala. How do you move from employment to self-employed? Pretty simple. You make a decision, take a step, and start building a business. That's the deal. For some of us, some people get pushed out. I don't know, they get retrenched, they get a package, they go into business, they start doing something. Some people get annoyed, pissed off with their boss, they resign, suddenly find themselves with nothing to do. Some people want to start their own business but spend their whole life thinking about it and never taking action. You know, Noala, it depends. What do you want out of life? That's a very hard question for me to answer without sitting down and being able to ask you a whole lot of questions. But you know, the first question I'd ask you is, what do you want out of life? In what you're doing right now, are you getting what you want? Are you being who you want? Are you creating what you want? Are you living the purpose that you want? And then the next question is, if you're not, well, what are you going to do in order to do that? Now, that doesn't mean that you just have to quit tomorrow morning and go, I'm going on my own. In fact, I actually recommend to most people, don't do that, because it's probably the worst move you could ever make. There's a few people that can do that, and so it's about learning, it's about studying, and for people that are a little bit unsure about moving, that's where things like network marketing businesses come in, because you can start your own business, you can start creating your own business, creating additional income alongside what you do, and those type of businesses are designed to be part-time. I watch too many people trying to build a full-time business, part-time. However, if you have a full-time job, one of my mentors, a guy called Kenny McElroy, wrote a book called The Sleeping Giant, and I'm going to run a book study for entrepreneurs in the second half, towards the middle end of the second half of this year, and there's inspiring stories from 20 different entrepreneurs in this, and it's called The Sleeping Giant: Awakening of the Self-Employed Entrepreneur. And a number of these entrepreneurs have built massive businesses, and a number of them, their story was, I kept my job, but after hours, man, I just put everything I had into building up my business until I got it. It all depends who you are. It all depends on your personality. It all depends on your makeup. So yeah, great question. But it's about studying. When I talk studying, I don't mean going to go get a MBA in entrepreneurship. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is doing what you're doing now, getting on webinars like this, learning from entrepreneurs, finding out how people start businesses, starting a little business, investing in yourself, investing in your education, investing in your study. That's the first and most important thing. If you want to become an entrepreneur, start studying what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Don't watch other people who have big cars and big houses and think that's what it is to be an entrepreneur. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But it's, who do you need to be an entrepreneur? What's the mindset of an entrepreneur? What's the spirit, the heart of an entrepreneur? You start hanging around entrepreneurs. You start going to entrepreneurial development seminars, those type of things, and that starts getting you going, and then you start moving from there. So very different. I've my wife is not a just get up and do it person. She needs to plan, understand, have a system. I'm the opposite. I just I make a decision. I got to go. That's it. I'm starting a new business. I'm doing a new venture. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I do some due diligence, but I've got to make a decision, and I've got to make a decision to act. So I don't know if that answers that for you, Noella. So Terry says, only if you keep trying to do better will you become better. Yeah, it's all about attitude. It's about understanding that the way you are at the moment right now is just where you are based on what you know and based on who you've become, and the opportunity to grow is there if you prepare to learn, study, and grow. So great feedback, great questions. Thank you. So the next one. Great salespeople love to serve others. Now, I've when I first met Blair Singer, the very first seminar that I went into in the US with Blair, was the one thing that connected me to him is that he had a flip chart that said serve first. And I believe for me in sales, in business, in marketing, that serve first is the single most important thing that you can do. Who are you prepared to serve? Are you out there serving others? Are you out there trying to make the world a better place for other people? Or are you just focused on being self-serving? And I don't know about you, but I see too much of this world today being self-serving, just focused on themselves. Yes, I'll do it as long as I get something out of it. Yes, I'm only interested as long as I get something out of it. The question is, are you prepared to get out and serve? Are you prepared to get out and serve others and make a difference? And when you do that, people connect with you because they know that you're prepared to go above and beyond for them, and it's not all about you. So great salespeople are prepared to serve first. You know, one of my favorite quotes comes from Dr. R. Buckminster Fuller, and it says this: "You do not belong to you; you belong to the universe." For me, I just changed that. You do not belong to you; you belong to God. Your true purpose may forever be obscure to you. You can rest assured you are fulfilling your life's purpose when you commit your life to the highest advantage of others. So what are you doing to commit your life to the highest advantage of others? And when you do, I just realized and learned that you create something way, way different for yourself. You know, so in everything that you do, are you adding value? You know, for me, for example, when I get on this call on a Tuesday night, yeah, it is Tuesday. When I get on this call on a Tuesday night, you know, I just know that for 45 minutes, my role is to serve you, to add value to you, to make sure that you get value. Now, yes, there's another side to it, that if I serve you properly and I add value, I am hoping that at some stage you will take the step, come into our sales explosion program, start doing entrepreneurial programs with me and my team, and you'll become part of who we are, what we do, and we'll do business together. But there's no guarantee, and there's no expectation that if you're on this webinar, that's what you have to do. You can get on this webinar every single week for the rest of the year, as long as we do them, and there's no obligation. But my belief is this, is that if I truly serve you, truly add value to you, truly make it worth your while, then when you give, you get in the most unexpected places, and that, too many people are out there trying to give, but they want what they want in return. It doesn't always come like that. Let me give you another example. Recently Robert Kiyosaki was out here at Business Investor Summit. By the way, how many of you attended that and got to listen to Robert and Tom Wheelwright for a couple of days? Anyone go to that? Great. So for me, I loved having him here. But after those 2 days, I had the opportunity of pretty much having Robert for 2 days to myself. When I say to myself, I got to host a breakfast where a couple of clients that I'm working with on a strategic project were invited, and one or two of my clients from around Africa who've been with me for a long time were invited, and then the next day I was able to host an event with Robert and Tom, where people that have been doing our Awaken Your Financial Genius program with me, and my team, Uncovering Greatness team, were invited to come and spend 6 hours with him and Tom. Now, that didn't just happen. That's 11 years of working in the same environment, of working around Blair, of getting to know Robert, of serving, of being there when needed to be. And with no guarantee that anything would happen. But I've just learned this: when you serve in the right way, when you serve with the right heart, when you serve with the right level of authenticity, the right stuff comes out, and things that you can never imagine. So I give you an example. So one of the things, this was never even on my radar, wasn't even something that I was planning. So those of you that were at the Business Investor Summit, you'll know that. Well, you might not know, maybe you didn't see me on stage, but you probably know that I was on stage every time that Robert and Tom came up. Now that I knew that could happen, but it wasn't really my expectation. My expectation was Robert would bring me up for a little bit, and then I'd come back later. But I ended up staying. The one expectation I never had was that he would ask me to go to Sydney in 2 weeks' time. He's doing an event called Wealth Masters in Sydney. And after that event, he asked me, he said, I want you in Sydney. Now, after the event I did with our Awaken Your Financial Genius team, not only did he ask me, could I come, he's asked me to bring my wife and my 2 girls so that we can talk about financial, as a family, why are we focused on entrepreneurship and building Now, that was never, ever, ever, ever in my mind. It wasn't even an expectation. But I've just learned that if you serve in the right way, if you do things in the right way, with the right heart, with the right thing, amazing, amazing things happen. So are you prepared to go out and serve? You know, people ask me, how do I find a mentor? Well, go out and serve someone. You know, go out and find someone who you would like to who you would like to be mentored by, and go and serve them. Go work for them. Go work in their rooms. Go work in their business. Go, I don't know, sweep their factory. Just go out and do it, and it'll allow you to be connected to them, and you'll learn from them, and you'll be amazed at what happens. You'll be amazed at what happens. But go out there without the expectation that something's going to happen. Just go out there to serve because you want to be there, and you will in the process of serving, you'll learn. That is this making sense? So, you know, for me, the number one thing in sales and marketing is get out there and serve first. You've all got knowledge. You've all got stuff that you can give away for free. You've all got a little bit of time that you can help and do things for people. And you never know who's watching. You never know what will come out of there. But just serve first. So Murphy says you always get out what you put in. You know what I've learned, Murphy, if you put in the right amount of serving, you get out way more than you ever expected. And that's from in Sales Explosion, I teach it. It's called Pre-Session. It's from Buckminster Fuller. And if you just keep focused on doing the right things, you know, we have a saying that says when you do the right things show up. And that's part of serving, you know. So yeah, you'll get out there and be persistent in your sales ability. So any questions or comments on that piece around serve first? So just thank you, Michelle, for your feedback on the Sales Explosion program or the Sales and Leadership Mastery program. Can't be missed, life-altering, and must be done by everyone. Yeah, I suppose that's one of the reasons I teach it today, is because it had such a dramatic effect on my life when I first did it in the US 11 years ago with Blair Singer. So any questions or comments when it comes to this notion of serving first? I'm going to ask yourself, who can you serve this week? You know, so, you know, I'll give you another example around serving. I learned this from Blair. You know, I used to do I still do a lot of traveling, but I would travel and I'd arrive home, and I'd expect, because I'd been away working, my family should wait on me hand and foot. You know, I know that I'm probably not the only one on this call who thinks like that, but it was just, you know, I'm out, I'm tired, I got home, you know, and then expect that dinner was ready and all that sort of stuff. And it didn't do my relationships any good. And then I just realized, and I learned from Blair, you know, he said something simple to me once. He said, you know, Barry, I've just learned when I go back home, my family's been without me for a couple of days and a couple of weeks and they've been able to they have been able to live by themselves. Doesn't mean they didn't miss me, but they've been able to live by themselves and life goes on. And I just learned that if you want to get back in their world, you have to go and serve. And, you know, that was a massive changing shift for me when it came to selling to my family. And, you know, for me, what I try to do now is I arrive back from a trip, put my stuff down. I don't go and lie on my bed. I go and get in my family's world. I say to my wife, what can I help with? What do we have to do? What are the kids doing? Who can I pick up? Boom, I get in her world to serve her. And as soon as I start serving her, boom, it comes back to me. And you know, she'll then say, you know, love, thank you for helping. Great to have you home. Hey, let me help you. You know, you must be tired. And our relationship is totally different. So yeah, serve first. And you know, I know, being around and working with Clive Kaplan for a while, Clive, for a number of years now, Clive says the first thing that he learned, you know, from me, and it dramatically changed his business. And he's become a really great server. You know, he serves his client. He looks after them. He makes sure that their best interests are always at hand. And his business has gone from strength to strength to strength to strength. So thanks for that feedback, Clive. So next one. Great salespeople are team players. Okay, contrary to many people's belief that sales is a singular game. In the game that you play solo, it's short-lived. You know, I've watched salespeople who are not interested in being team players, who only want to be the rock star, who only want to be the star. I've watched them make a lot of money, but be very short-lived and come and go. So you can be the rock star, but can you be the rock star and play on a team? You know, can you be a Michael Jordan and have the whole team and you play on a team more than be the singular individual? So, you know, great salespeople know that they play on a team. They know that they have a role in the team. They know that other people are there to fulfill a role in the team, and they know that everyone on that team working together creates results. So sales is a team sport. I'll say it again. Sales is a team sport, and you know, in that environment, you in the sales environment, you want to build a team. So can you play on a team? Can you grow a team? Yeah, Merv says there's no I in team. You have to be a team player. Well, Merv, you don't have to be a team player. You know, I know many people that are not team players. They've made a lot of money. They've done a whole lot of things, but I don't know if they have everything they want in their life. And you're right. Together, everyone achieves more. So, can you be on a team? You know, I'm running an entrepreneurial program coming up this weekend in Durban. It's a 3-day program called The Fundamentals of Entrepreneurship. And a lot of it is based on this book from Robert Kiyosaki called More Important Than Money, and it's an entrepreneur's team. But to have a team, you've got to be the team player first. You know, I watch too many business owners who employ a team, but they're not team players. They surround themselves with people who they think they're going to tell what to do, when, and how they want them to do it. That's not a team. Can you play on a team? Do you know what your position is? If you're the striker, can you put it in the goal? If you're the goalkeeper, can you save it? If you're the center link, can you connect the strike? Every single person has a different position. Great salespeople, great entrepreneurs are team players. So Michelle says, I know Mervyn well and have learned from him as Mervyn serves in all areas of life. It's awesome to know someone. Brilliant. Mervyn, you know, serve first is a massive thing. Can you serve first? Can everyone serve? And truly serve authentically. So that's a team player. The next one is this. Great salespeople like to play win-win. Now, that word win-win is a little bit of a cliche, isn't it? You know, a lot of people talk, well, win-win. And what they really mean is I win, and if you win, well, that's okay. But the reality is this. Can you honestly, truly play win-win? When you're out selling, can you ensure that the deal is good for you and for the client? Okay? You know, I've watched too many salespeople over the years. And, I've been in sales nearly 30 years. I've had the opportunity of running some big sales teams, 50, 60 sales reps. I've had the opportunity of working in the corporate world, working with entrepreneurs, building sales teams from scratch. And way too often, I've seen this mentality in salespeople. As long as you close the deal and as long as we got what we need, well, it's okay if the customer does okay out of it, but we're the most important people. You know, profit comes first, money comes first. You know, it's gotta make sense, and that's important. So, you know, there's too many people that are not focused on win-win. Make sure you play win-win, and great salespeople, great entrepreneurs that want to be around for the long time. I want to have a sustainable business. I want to build something that is here beyond me, and I know that if I'm going to do that it takes win-win. And if I want short-term cash, that's easy. I can go out. I can do any deal where I can screw someone on the back end. Boom, that's easy and make a lot of money. Well, that's you. That's okay. That's up to you. You justify it. I'm not going to make it right or wrong. I've just learned that the more you make it win-win, the more you allow both parties to win, the longevity of your business, the longevity of your sales, the longevity of your earning will come through. So make sure that there is fair and equitable exchange. That is really the ethos of win-win. Great salespeople are prepared to fail or lose. Okay, it's like sport. How are you going to be a champion if you're not prepared to fail, if you're not prepared to lose? You've got to be prepared to lose. In order to win, you have to be prepared to lose. In order to win, you have to be prepared to fail. School doesn't teach that. School teaches us that the only people that pass are the people who win. And failure is bad, and making mistakes bad. In sales, in the world of sales, in the world of entrepreneurship, in the world of business, in the world of generating income, you've got to be prepared to fail. And you've got to be prepared to lose. And when you fail and you lose, that's when you get your lessons. You get up, you dust off, and you keep going. That's where persistence comes in. That's where the importance of having a why in is, because when you fail, the why is bigger than the failure. It gets up. The learning is bigger than anything else. So are you prepared to fail or lose? Play to win. I'll say it again. I said it just now. Do whatever it takes to win. You have to be prepared to fail or lose. Now, I don't play in this environment either where, and I get annoyed with some of these school teachers who teach this. It's not important whether you win or lose. It's only important that you have fun. Now, that's, in my world, you choose whatever it is. And I say it again, neither right or wrong. But in my world, my belief is this in business. You play to win. You play to win all the time. You get on that field, you only play to win. But you have to understand and be prepared that you will lose and you will fail. If you prepare to lose and fail, boom, you'll get your lessons, and that carries you on the journey to being able to win. But play to win. I can remember a number of years ago, I walked down to the hockey field, and my daughter had just come off practicing hockey, and I heard the coach at school say to the head of sport, well, I've told the kids that it's not important that, we got a tournament this weekend, and it's not really important whether they win or whether they lose. It's only important that we go there and have a lot of fun and just have fun. And for me, that irritated the hell out of me. It was like, yes, should you have fun? Damn right. Of course you must have fun. Life's too short not to have fun, but have fun at the same time. Get out there and win. I've just come back from 3 days of playing old man's hockey. We just had our Masters tournament in Durban. And, once a year, I play on a team, and pretty much everyone on our team is older than 45 except two of the players. And we played in a tournament. For the first 2 games, we got our butt handed to us, but we didn't give up, and we wanted to win. Every game we walked on that field, man, we wanted to win. But afterwards, when we lost our first 2 games, we stepped back. What did we lose? And kept going. So great salespeople do whatever it takes to win, hopefully legally, ethically, and morally. But in that quest to do whatever it takes to win, they are prepared to lose, fail, and the most important thing, to learn, because that's really where growth comes from. The next one, great salespeople manage their energy levels well. Those of you that have been around me long enough, you'll know one of the first things that I start with in any event is highest energy always wins. And energy is a choice. So in sales and in business, can you choose the energy you need when you need it? Can you choose the energy you need when you need it? Before I got on this webinar, I wasn't wandering around my house speaking with the energy that I'm speaking right now. I was managing my energy. I was sitting on the couch chatting to my wife. And coming in here, I know that I've got to have a higher level of energy than anyone on the call so I can connect, make it exciting. Can you choose your energy? Can you manage your energy well? When you need the energy that you need in order to close the deal that you need, can you turn it on? Or are you letting everything else get in the way? Energy is key. Great salespeople know how to manage their energy. They know how to turn it on. They know how to use it. They know how to channel it. So can you manage your energy levels? Do you understand that highest energy always wins, and that energy is a choice? You need to be able to choose the energy you need when you need it. And that leads into the last of the 10 points tonight. Great salespeople, great entrepreneurs, successful people are able to choose the energy that they need? Can you choose what you need when you need it? When you need to get excited, can you get excited? When you need to, when you need to manage that energy, be strong but quiet, can you be strong and quiet? What is the energy that you have? What is the energy that you choose? So that pretty much makes up, over the last couple of weeks, I shared 35 traits that make great salespeople great. And those are the last 10 this evening. Any comments or questions on any of those? Any comments or questions? Milky, your energy ended up being contagious during the sales explosion seminar. My challenge is keeping the energy levels high. Milka, that's such a great point. Energy is contagious. Energy is contagious, and the more you practice, energy is practice. You know, the more you practice managing your energy, it's like anything, the better you'll get. So the very first step is you're aware of the power of energy. You're aware of the contagiousness. You know, in that space, I have to manage my energy very well in order to keep teaching for 27 hours. Because I understand this. Every time I am leading that room, the level of the energy that I choose in that room determines the success and the value that the people in that room are going to get. But that comes from practice. You know, 11 years ago when I first started teaching and training, I didn't teach for 27 hours like that. I had to learn how to manage that energy for 2 hours. One of the reasons was my little voice was so strong around my fear of public speaking that I had to learn how to get through that. So, you know, the first step is you're aware and you have awareness around energy. Now it's a process of just managing it, channeling it, understanding it's there. When it's down, asking yourself, you know, what energy would I rather have right now? Making that choice. When it's too high and you're wasting it because it's just not there, it's being aware of that and asking yourself, you know, what energy would I like? Would I like to be a little bit more controlled right now? And you practice it. So great comment. So Michelle says, I've learned in my business that energy is vitally important. 100%. As the leader, Michelle, you've got to choose the right energy. You know, people who follow will match your energy by about 50%. So yeah, what energy are you choosing? Whether you want to be at work or not, whether you want to get up to the office or not, you've got to choose the right energy when you're in front of the people that you need. You know, you can watch video clips of great leaders. You know, Martin Luther King is my favorite, especially his final speech. Man, he just knew how to choose energy in the impending thought that he could get assassinated in you know, at any time. And he could stand up on a stage like that and choose the energy that was needed to do the job and follow his purpose when he needed to do it, in spite of what was going on around it. You know, so it's about that energy. So, you know, what energy are you choosing tomorrow when you get up? What energy are you choosing? It's your choice. You know, it's just it's a choice, and it's a conscious choice to start off with, but you just get up and make it happen. So any other questions or comments, folks? Did you get value from this evening? So Harry says, my belief is a client will only hand over money to a person who has or will help them in their life. I prefer the name advisor instead of salesperson. Harry, you call yourself whatever you want, mate, honestly. But for me, I'm in sales. I'm in sales. I've been in sales for 30 years. I represent myself. I represent other people, and I sell. And yeah, you know, if you want to call yourself an advisor, that's cool. If it helps you, that's great. At the end of the day, I'm out there serving other people, solving their problems, adding to solutions. And yeah, Look, people hand over their money for many stupid things, who will help them in their life. Sometimes people are so stuck in the need to have instant results, to get them out of the problem they're in. They hand money over to people who, if they really thought about it, they would understand are not going to help them. So at the end of the day, it's about connecting in somebody else's world, making it all about them, serving them, finding out how to make a difference in their life. And when you can make someone's life different, when you can add value to them, you'll add value to your life. And when you add value to life, what I've learned is this: you will, if you have the right business model, make a lot of money. And for me, I've learned this. Too many people say to me, "Well, it's not about the money. The money is not important." The money is bloody important. Believe me, it is important. It's not the only thing, but it is important. You want to run your business, you need money. You want great people around you, you want to build a great team, you need money. You want to add value to other people, you need money. You want to do good in this world, you need money. Doesn't matter what it is, you need money. Pretty simple. Sales equals income. In business, it's about money. But out of that comes everything else. So yeah, what are you doing to get out there, folks? Get out there, connect with people, learn how to sell. And those of you that have been on the sales explosion and would like to do it again, those of you that haven't been on the sales explosion or the sales and leadership mastery program, then that's coming up in October. There's a couple of events coming up in the next couple of weeks. We have a couple of free 2.5-hour events. It'll be great to have you there. I have a one-day event around developing a sales strategy and a sales pipeline, which is on the 12th of September. So if you're interested in any of those programs, you want to know more, or you want to take the plunge and come and join us, like Nuala, you want to start learning more, take the plunge, come and join us on one of those events. Maybe come on the 12th of September and come and spend the day doing our sales strategy development, or come to the Sales and Leadership Mastery Program or the Sales Explosion Program on the 26th, and then come in October to the two-day program. And I guarantee you that it will really start shifting where you are, changing where you're going. So last week my challenge was, how many of you went out and did some cold calls? So if you did your cold calls, quickly type in, I did mine, and how many cards were you able to get? How many cards were you able to get from last week's cold call? DeLeon, 50. You're a machine, young lady. Great job. Well done for rising to the challenge. And I know when she did it on Friday morning during the middle of the public holiday when no one was around. This is Robustable. I need to know, Robustable, what's your name? Hey, maybe it is. So Susan, well done. You did 27 calls. Brilliant job. Great. What a great effort. What a great effort. So anyone else did theirs? The challenge is still on. So DeLeon and Susan, did you guys learn something out of that exercise? And will you do it again? Cool. So Susan says yes to shut the little voice up. Excellent. That's the first start. Well done. DeLeon says she'll do it every month. Again, extremely powerful. So well done to you guys. So yeah, for the rest of you, I'm going to challenge you. Can you get out? Go spend half a day or a day. Collect between 25 and 50 business cards. Set a goal. Go meet people and do the cold call challenge. If you want to know more about it and you weren't on last week's call, download the webinar and listen to what we spoke about last week. So, folks, really looking forward to have you in some of our rooms coming up. And yeah, just remember in October we have the Sales and Leadership Mastery Program. It's a 2.5-day event. Those of you that haven't done it, I'm going to encourage you. If you're getting value off these webinars, you'll get massive value out of that program. Those of you that have already done it, remember we have a repeat rate for people who want to do it again, and you can come back in that room at a very reduced rate. So so come to that program. I have a guarantee on that program that if you come to the program and you can honestly come to me on Saturday evening and tell me that it was a waste of time and you spent the whole weekend with us, I will refund your money. There's a number of people on this call that have been on this program, and I know, if I ask some of them to chat a little bit about that program, for many of them, they'll tell you that there's been a significant change in their business and in their earning ability. So would love to have you on that. And next week we have another call. Next week we're talking money and finance, and I'm going to do another call around cryptocurrency. Got a friend and colleague of mine, a part of our training team, a lady called Michelle Vantonda, who's been highly successful in the cryptocurrency space, and she's going to come on, and I'm going to chat to her a little bit about. I've been mentoring Michelle for a while now around Little Voice and as an entrepreneur, and she's done incredibly well over the last 12 to 18 months. And I'm going to bring her on this time next Tuesday to talk a little bit about what it takes to build a cryptocurrency business and how would you go about it. So if you're interested in doing that, then Tuesday the 21st, 7 to 8 p.m. and come and get on that. Go register for it, and you'll need to register for that webinar and come and join us. So guys, any other questions or comments before I finish off? It is 2 minutes to 8. So thank you, Marlon, for hosting us. I'm going to hand it back to you. And thank you, folks. Have a blessed rest of your week. Go out, sell, make money, make a difference in other people's lives. And remember, as Buckminster Fuller says, for me, if you understand this, you do not belong to you. You belong to the universe, or you belong to God. Your true purpose may forever be obscure to you, yet you can rest assured you are filling your life's purpose when you commit your life to the highest advantage of others. Have an awesome day. See you guys soon. Bye. Over to you, Marlon.